Hi, it's me Doompod, and I am here doing a very different type of video. I'm planning to do a mix of Audacity recording, so basically my audio. I'm going to do video from my webcam with no audio. I'm going to use pictures, and this is actually the first time I'm using a script. I will also use Windows Movie Maker to edit it, because I'm a bit of a noob and I can't really use much else. But yeah, let's just see how this goes. Please tell me if you like it or not in the comments down below. Um, but basically, this is a story about how I'm going, and I'm going to tell you why the PSP is my favourite handheld at the moment. Now, the PSP is great. It's quite cheap, and with custom firmware, it can do a lot, and I mean a lot of things. Like, I used to be a DS person. I had an R4. I was always messing about with emulators and stuff like that on it. Had great games. The emulators were okay, but I mean, it did what I wanted. I could emulate Mega Drive and stuff like that. And I used to have a PSP, but like I wanted really to almost like open it up, if that makes sense. So basically install custom firmware. And this was not easy at the time. To do it effectively, you really needed a Pandora battery, and to make that, you had to basically have another PSP with custom firmware, or buy one, or make one yourself. I was cheap and didn't really have the money, so I didn't want to buy one, even though it was only like a couple of quid. I didn't know anyone with a PSP with custom firmware, so I ended up trying to make my own, which did not end up very well, and I ended up bricking it. So years went by without I had a PSP. I was happy with my DS. I mean, I had DOS emulation and stuff like that on it, but it wasn't amazing. And then, like, the price of PSP games started to plummet, and of course, the price when games start to plummet, price of the PSP starts to go down as well. And you can end up picking like games which were once like 20-30 quid for about a fiver. So I was like starting to get interested again, and you can now buy like a PSP Fat easily for 40 quid, if not less. But I ended up getting my hands on two broken, apparently, PSPs off my mate. He had a Fat and a Slim. The Fat one wasn't reading games, and the Slim one had a broken hard drive, which we later tried to fix, but we didn't actually succeed in that. But my plan was to get the Slim with the broken hard drive and install custom firmware on it, so I could play backups from the memory stick, which is what I'm currently doing now. I went to Game, actually, and bought the 3 cheapest games for the PS3 I could find, because there was a sale going on, and I ended up spending just over £10 and traded the games with my mate the next day for these 2 PSPs, so I was chuffed with that. I got it really cheap. But I got home and charged them up using my old charger, as my friend couldn't find his, and to my surprise, the disk drive on the Fat actually worked. So I was chuffed, and got straight to looking for custom firmware tutorials on YouTube. Started installing them the next day. So this all went hunky-dory. I ended up installing custom firmware on both PSPs, and unbricked my black one, which unfortunately I later broke the screen on, but still. And this opened me up to a great selection of PSP games, import games, and even some amazing homebrew. So I'm just going to go through with you some of the reasons why custom firmware is great and PSPs are great, and some more in this video. So basically, most people would say custom firmware, great, you get free games. But I don't know, I'm going to be slightly less piratey almost, because like just downloading games, it's not really right, you know. But downloading import games, that makes more sense. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but my favourite type of game, or one of, is rhythm games. And no, you can't see me dancing on a dance mat, but I loved that stuff like Stepmania on the PC. So when I found out about the DJ Max series, I was downloading them faster than you can say the Pirate Bay. That rhymed. Anyway, so as you can see, I have most of the DJ Max games on here, and that wouldn't be possible without custom firmware. And even though it is in English, most of them were released exclusively in Korea. Now, another thing that is great is emulation, or to be more exact, PSX emulation. Normally, when you try to get PlayStation emulation right, especially like when you want it to be portable, it's quite hard to get it right. But for 40 quid, a PSP is a great emulation device. I cannot stress this enough. Mega Drive, DOS, NES, you can like get it all. I mean, there are some grey areas like Nintendo 64 and personally my biggest gripe, Amiga emulation, which is possible but it's slow. And I still haven't got MAME working on it, but I think that's just me being lazy. I can look up some tutorials if I really need that. But let me tell you, the PSX emulation is amazing. Like, the PSP was pretty much built for PlayStation emulation through the PSX store. Not PSX, PSN store. You can actually buy PlayStation games, and so basically it was built for PlayStation emulation as well as PSP games. And because of that, it's very easy to do. You just put it into a program and it will make an ebook for you. So if you're a PlayStation fan, like, pick up a spare PSP, install custom firmware on it, convert your backups, and enjoy possibly the best portable PS experience around. Third thing, homebrew. This actually ties in quite nicely with emulation. The community, even though sadly slowly dying, for the PSP is amazing. There are many forums out there for help with modding, installing custom firmware, even if you just find a bug in someone's game or homebrew. The PSP has some great games, but the game library is kind of small, so you find yourself running out of things to play. Just head onto a site or a forum, and you can browse and find some amazing free homebrew games. So your library is almost endless. On another side note, as it fits in with emulation and homebrew, there is some amazing ports of old games, and my favourite, Doom 2. So if you want to get some good old Doom 2 multiplayer madness going on, then just get a friend with custom firmware, and you can use a program called Legacy, and you can play death matches, which is pretty awesome. And my fourth reason is kind of small, and it's probably the weakest of the lot, but I love having themes on my PSP. Now trust me, you get some really bad themes, but if you wade through all the shit, you can really find some gems. I personally like themes not really based on anything, so like not with any themes, but that they can stand out on their own, like a theme that doesn't strafe too much for the original, but looks nice and still has some fresh twists on it. One that you can put on and not really want to change anytime. That is a good theme. You put it on and think, I want to change themes, then it's probably not a theme for you. But I mean, it's really nice because it just gives your PSP a bit of personality. It's a bit different instead of it being like a soulless lump of plastic, which most PSPs are. Now, I'm sure there are many more things you can think of, guys. I am actually just scratching the tip of the iceberg with this. But at the point of this video, like, this device is so cheap, and with custom firmware, you can do a lot more than you think with it, and that is why it is one of my favourite handhelds of all time. So, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thank you for listening. Please give me some feedback, say if you like this format or if not, and remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. It's me, Doompod, and I am out. See you and goodbye.